Hello, good morning, and welcome back or welcome to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Allana, and today's episode is all about friendships, specifically female friendships and friendships in your 20s. I feel like I get asked so many questions about how to meet girls in your 20s, how to meet friends, how to maintain friendships, how to find deeper connections, especially in adulthood. And I feel like this is something that isn't talked about enough. We talk so much about dating and careers, but not enough about what it feels like when your friendships start shifting, when people drift, when you feel lonely, when you realize you're not as close to the people who once felt like family, or maybe you move to a new city and you're trying to feel grounded and create that social circle again. And just like the things that go through and happen in your 20s, especially as a female, I feel like guys, and I'm sorry if you're a guy and you're listening to this and maybe you don't relate, and that's okay, but I feel like all the guys that I know are still friends with the same like 5 or however many people they have been friends with for years, either since elementary school, middle school, high school, university. They're all still friends with those same people. Like their core group of friends is pretty much the same. Whereas I feel like with girls, because our relationships are so much deeper and more emotional and there's so much more vulnerability, and like I can't think of another word as opposed to depth compared to male friendships, I feel like there's a lot more drama and fallouts and growing apart and things that happen and change as we get older and as we mature and grow up and all these things. And so if you're feeling like your friendships are in a weird place right now, or you're in that in-between space of outgrowing old connections while still looking for your new people, I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm someone who has definitely been through my fair share of friendships. I have my friends that I've been friends with for ages, since I was a little girl, since like grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. But I have definitely gone through periods of time where I've been closer with some of my friends. I've grown out of some of my friends. I've had to step away from some friendships, and that's not always easy. And I think for me, like I also have grown up in a social circle where a lot of the girls are still friends with the same friend groups that they've had since they were younger. And unfortunately or fortunately, that's not me. But in being one of the only ones to feel this way, or at least that's my perspective, it does make me feel a bit like an outcast or the black sheep, or like there's something wrong with me. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way, and that I'm sure in sharing this and being vulnerable with you guys, maybe this can help you feel less alone and not feel like the black sheep in your social circle and in the bubble that you've grown up in. So let's get into it. Let's first off talk about the friendship shift that happens in your 20s. When we're younger, our friendships are based a lot on proximity. So we create friends based off of who's in our class. Like think about when you're younger, like your closest friends were always the ones that were in your homeroom class, or maybe you're part of a sports team, whether it be dance, soccer, hockey, whatever it is, or as you get older, the people that you go out with at university, you're naturally just surrounded by people who are in the same life stage as you, around the same age as you, and your schedules are all pretty much more or less the same. And so therefore it's easier to maintain those friendships because of proximity and convenience. And it's just easier as a whole. Like think about it. It was so much easier to stay in touch with your friends and make plans and see them more often when we were all doing the same thing, more or less, right? But once you graduate or you move into your career and things start to change, they start to change fast. And you know, we all kind of start to go off in different directions for the first time in our lives, especially in our 20s. And that continues to happen as we get older. And as we get older, those paths turn and twist further and further away from each other. And it can make it hard. And suddenly you start to realize that maybe not all your friendships are meant to last forever, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't real or that they weren't special, you know? Oh my God, my camera's gonna run out of storage. 1 second. Okay, we're back. My camera ran out of storage on the memory card, but where was I? As we get older, our paths start to get further and further apart, and we're all on different trajectories. We're all doing different things. Maybe we're moving to different cities. Maybe some of us are further along in our career. Some are maybe still in school. And it's just it's just the thing that happens. It's life. It happens. And it doesn't mean that the friends that you were once close with and those friendships weren't real or special, like I just said. It just means that you're growing and you're changing, and maybe your values are evolving, or their values are evolving, or they're changing. And that's a good thing. What I have learned is that some people will grow with you and others will gently fade out. And it's one of those things that it can be confusing and it can be sad and it can be hurtful, but I think it's a necessary part of growing up. We're not always going to be aligned with the same people that we became friends with when we were younger. I know I don't think I'm above everyone else, but I do know that I have really grown and changed as a person. I'm not the same person I was when I was in high school. I'm not the same person I was when I was in middle school. I'm not the same person I was in my first or second year of university. So like your freshman or junior year. I'm not the same person I literally was 6 months ago, a year ago. Obviously, at baseline, I'm the same person, but I do really think that I have grown and changed, and I value and look for different things in friendships now than I did when I was younger, and that is okay. And that means sometimes that the friends that I had made when I was younger no longer fit into what I need to be a friend now if we're not willing and able to grow together. And that's okay. And there's no hate for those people. That happens. It happens to the best of us. But what I have really learned, especially, and I think when I was younger, I really wanted to have as many friends as possible because that made me feel included. It made me feel valued and wanted. But I have really come to learn that I would rather have a few really good quality friendships over quantity. Learning that not everyone is meant to be your best friend, your ride or die, has probably been like the best thing that I've ever learned, because I know who is my person and who are like the people that are my people. And those are the people I rely on. And then I have people for different things. You know, you can have really a few really close friends, but then you can have a lot of acquaintances. And that's how I kind of like to look at my life. I've never really been a girl who has like a big friend group. I have lots of little clusters of friends in different areas, and the people that are closest to me is very few, and I like to keep it that way. Outgrowing friendships. Let's get into the part that honestly, it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Outgrowing people. It's really easy to want to hold on to a friendship because of how long you've known someone or all the memories you shared together, the nostalgia of it. But the length of time that you have been friends with someone doesn't always necessarily equal alignment. And I know that's a really hard pill to swallow because it's something I've had to swallow recently. And it sucks. It really sucks. And I think a friendship breakup is almost worse than a romantic breakup because you're so intertwined, and I don't even know how to really put it into words, but it just freaking sucks. And I don't like it, but sometimes it's for the best. And sometimes it's okay to let people go. Sometimes it's a slow drift, like realizing you're not as excited to see their name pop up anymore on their phone, or the conversations are feeling forced, or maybe after hanging out with that person, you don't really feel good anymore. Or sometimes it's more clear cut. Maybe their energy no longer matches yours, or you feel unsupported, or you feel like there's a lot of jealousy and envy in that friendship and it's no longer healthy. And I'm here to remind you, and maybe this is part of me reminding myself in this, it doesn't make you a bad person for walking away. It makes you someone who is protecting their peace. It's okay to love someone from a distance. It's okay to wish them well and still move on. Friendships don't need a dramatic ending to be complete. Some of them can just expire quietly, but sometimes they do end a little bit abruptly, and I've definitely been there, and I've been there kind of recently, and it's really hard. It's really hard, and I think also for me, it's like wanting to discuss that and work through those feelings and emotions with my other friends, but then also being wary of like, how are they going to perceive me now if I chose to walk away from someone else? Like, are they going to see me as someone that just like quote unquote drops a friend or like ghosts them? I think letting go of guilt surrounding the ending of a friendship, and choosing to protect your peace, and knowing when something is no longer working, especially when it's like a harder, clear-cut ending to that friendship as opposed to a slow drift, is really hard. And I don't have all the answers as to how to navigate that, but all I'm going to say is that if you are feeling this need to either distance yourself or make a clear cut from a friendship that is no longer feeling good and healthy to you, you're feeling super drained and bad about yourself after leaving the interactions, you don't feel supported by them, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you are allowed to put yourself first, and you're allowed to walk away from something that is no longer serving you, the same way that if it was someone you were dating, you would choose to end that. I think it's harder with friendships because it's not as clear cut, and I don't know, it's a really hard thing, but sometimes it's just necessary, and it will be hard in the moment, especially when you're used to doing everything and anything with that person. But slowly but surely you will feel better. And I know what I wanted to say initially. Trust your gut instinct. I think the biggest thing for me, and a goal for mine this year in all areas of my life, has been to trust my gut instinct, because every single time I've chosen to ignore it and go against it, it always ends up being right, and I should have just trusted it from the get-go. So if in your gut instinct you are feeling that this friend secretly hates you, that they're envious of you, that they're jealous of you, that they're not a good friend, that they're talking badly about you behind your back, it is okay to walk away. Like, your friend should not be putting you down. They should not be competing with you. It should not feel like a competition. And it's one thing for your closest friends to tell you hard truths and to be honest with you and to tell you the things that you don't want to hear sometimes. And I think that's really important. And I definitely have been in the place where I've had to do that for some of my friends. But are they doing it in a way in which that comes across as loving and caring? Or are they doing it in a way in which that comes across as a way to pin you down and manipulate and gaslight and just make you feel shittier so that they can feel better about themselves? I think you have to think about, like, what is their true intention and how is the way that they're acting towards you impacting you, because they should care about that, you know? So, making new friends in your 20s. I think this is probably one of the most common DMs I get is, how do I make new friends in my 20s? How do I meet new people in a new city, etc.? Whether it's a DM, in my Q&As, on my stories, it's hard. It's not like when we were 15 or 14 or when we were younger, when we could instantly bond over something, where we had a lot of time to spend with one another because our schedules align so easily. As an adult, it takes a lot more effort and putting yourself out there to make friends in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, as an adult in general. And it can feel really intimidating, especially if you're introverted like myself, or maybe a little bit socially awkward or anxious like me, believe it or not, or maybe you're starting fresh in a new city. But here's the thing that I want to remind you. Aligned friendships do exist, and it is possible to make new friends in your 20s. I am a living example of this. You just have to start showing up where your people are. So that might be a workout class, it might be an event, maybe it's a community online, or even reaching out to someone on social media who feels or seems like they'd be the same vibe as you. One DM can turn into a dinner date, one coffee can turn into a friendship. And I think, like, the biggest thing, and I say this with dating a lot, but be the friend you are looking for. Be open, initiate, don't take it personally if it doesn't click. Like, have the character traits and be the type of friend that you want back. Like, if you want a friend that checks in on you, are you checking in on your friends? If you want a friend that is willing to come and do things with you, like, are you willing to do that for them? If you want a friend that, like, lends you clothes and, like, wants to go shopping and do these things, like, are you doing that as well? And if something doesn't click with someone right away, that's okay. Just, like, let it be what it is. But the right friendships will stick and you'll find your people. It just takes some trial and error. It's kind of like dating. You got to go on some friendship dates and just, like, put yourself out there. Like, I don't know, if you are going to a workout class and you always see the same girl or a few girls that are there at the same time as you, introduce yourself to them. Maybe compliment their outfit. Ask them where they got it from, or maybe ask to grab a coffee afterwards. Like, put yourself out there, initiate, lead, and it can turn into something. I know it can feel awkward, it can feel intimidating, it can be anxiety driven, but I promise you all it takes is one friend, because that one person, I'm sure they have other friends and they can introduce you to other people. And also, like I said, quality over quantity. And Georgia said this on Ginny and Georgia. She said, all you need in life is one good friend and you're set. And I really do think that, like, you don't have to have 10 million friends. You don't have to have this massive friend group. I would way rather have one really good, solid friend that I can rely on than 10 girls who I feel like are super hot and cold with me. I can't rely on. I feel like they're talking badly about me behind my back. You know, I would way rather have one super genuine connection with someone than 10 not so genuine connections. Navigating female friendships. I feel like I'm going to get through this episode a lot faster than I thought, but I guess that's okay. Sometimes short and sweet is good. Navigating female friendships. I think female friendships can be such a powerful thing, but they can also bring up a lot, like comparison, jealousy, miscommunication, feeling left out. And I think this almost gets, I think you think it's like worse when you're younger because of all the drama that happens, all the fights and all of that. And I think in some ways, yes, it is kind of like more drama driven when you're younger, but in your 20s, everyone's on different paths and it can be really hard to navigate that, especially in female friendships. Some friends are getting engaged, some are building businesses, some are still figuring out, some are still in school, some are single, some are dating, and it's easy to really feel like you just don't fit in anywhere. But I have found that in order to maintain our female friendships and to not let filling in the gaps with assumptions get to the best of us, is to give each other grace and to communicate, to be honest about how you feel, to let go of the pressure of being everything to everyone and expecting someone to be everything to you, and also learning how to set boundaries where you need to. I think when we're younger, we kind of let our friends be up all in our business and we have no boundaries. But I think having boundaries in a friendship and a relationship are super important, and being able to communicate that and have friends who respect that is really important. A healthy friendship should genuinely feel like ease, like I've said about relationships as well. You shouldn't have to need to constantly prove your worth to be included or loved, and you also should be able to support each other's growth and accomplishments and successes in life without competition. You should be able to cheer each other on genuinely and support each other and not see someone else's success as a threat or something that's dimming your light. Like, all of you gaining success and achieving the things that you want to achieve and reaching all these milestones in your life lifts everyone up. And if you and your friends can't do that for each other, then that's not a healthy friendship. If you feel like you can't share your accomplishments with your friends out of fear of them not being able to be genuinely happy for you, or them putting you down, or them trying to outshine you, those are not true friends. Like, that is someone who is your enemy, they're your competition, and that is not a friend you want in your corner, transparently. What does a healthy friendship look like? So we talked about a little bit about toxic friendships, friendships that don't feel like they fit, outgrowing friendships, but what does a healthy and grounded friendship actually look like? It feels like consistency, not just convenience, especially as we're in adulthood. We're not always convenient to one another. Like, some of my friends live 30 minutes to an hour away from me. Some of my friends don't even live in the same city as me. So it's not about convenience. There's ways to make it work and to have effective, consistent communication, even if you don't live in the same city. It's 2025. We all have smartphones. We have internet. We have data. There's FaceTime. There's Snapchat. There's texting. There's voice messages. There's phone calls. There's so many things. Support, even in silence. Like, you shouldn't have to ask your friends to support you, and the same way your friends shouldn't have to ask you to support them. Again, it's a two-way street. Are you showing up for your friends? Are your friends showing up for you without you having to ask all the time? Sometimes it's okay to ask, but are they able to be there for you even without you asking? Honesty. even when it's uncomfortable? Are your friends and are you able to be honest with one another? Are you able to share when you are upset about something, when something has been done that hurts you? Are you able to be truthful and vulnerable with them? Are you able to vent to them if you need to? Are they able to vent to you without judgment? Is it a place that exists without judgment? Are you guys able to take space? Are you guys able to spend time independently as much time as you are able to spend time together? Are you able to take space without feeling guilt? Are you allowed to cancel plans and your friends understand it and not take it so personally, and vice versa? And are you guys truly joyful with one another without the need to perform it or fake it? Like, can you genuinely and wholeheartedly say you are your authentic self when you are with this person? And do you feel that vice versa? Like, are they able to be their authentic, most true version of them, the unfiltered version of them? Or do you feel like you're putting on an act? Because I think we've all been here when we've been exploring new friendships and we feel like we're kind of performing and not really being our true authentic self. And that can be exhausting, and you don't want to keep up a friendship that makes you feel like that. Like, you want to be around people where you can feel like you can let your walls down, Like, it's the same thing with a partner. Like, if you are pretending to be someone else, like, that relationship, that friendship is never going to last. Eventually, the mask is going to come off. A good friend genuinely wants to see you friend. Oh my God, I can't speak. A good friend genuinely wants to see you win. They celebrate you, call in when needed. They check in on you. They accept the version of you that's still growing. They don't judge you. They want the best for you. They're there with you through thick and thin. They give you advice. And even if you don't listen to it and you're upset and you're hurt, no matter what it is, they are there for you to cry on their shoulder, to vent to speak about the same situation over and over again without getting annoyed, without turning to your other friend and being like, ugh, I don't want to have to deal with this later. And honestly, that's the kind of friendship that's worth the wait. Like, why wouldn't you want to wait for a friend that truly is a friend to you and not a secret enemy, not a hidden hater, So don't settle for less, just like you wouldn't settle for less in a relationship. And you guys know I love my affirmations. So if you want to, I think it's important to have emotional safety and share joy and no pressure to perform in friendships, as well as there being mutual support and the ability to be vulnerable and space to grow and explore and develop as human beings, and still be okay with not talking every single day, but still feeling close. And for a friendship to genuinely just feel like home, I think these are super important. But you guys know I love my affirmations, so I'm going to give you some if you want to grab your journal or open up your notes app to write these down. But I am attracting friendships that are aligned, genuine, and rooted in love. I release the need to hold on to connections that no longer serve me. I am worthy of deep, honest, and joyful friendships. I trust that my people are finding their way to me even now. I am worthy of friendships that feel effortless, loving, and honest. Friendships in your 20s are complex, and no one really talks about that enough. And there is so much grief of letting go, the awkwardness of starting fresh, and that longing to feel so truly seen and understood, and to feel like you fit in and like you belong and you have your people. Like, I don't know, when I think of like friendships, I think of like Sex and the City. I think of like Carrie and why am I blanking on their names? Carrie and Charlotte and Sam and Miranda, and they're all so different, yet they're all there to support one another throughout all the ups and downs of the romantic relationships and their careers and life. And you will find your people, whether you have 3 really close friends or 1 or 2, whatever it is. But if you take anything from this episode, I want you to know this: you are not alone. There are people out there who will get you, who will love you, support you, and grow with you. But before they can show up, you have to make space for them. So I'm giving you permission. I, Allana Blumberg, am giving you permission to let go of what's no longer aligned for you, to show up where your people are, and to trust that the friendships that are meant for you will feel like coming home. They will feel like a safe space. And if this episode resonated with you, I would love if you could share it with someone you love or maybe someone you miss. And as always, thank you so much for being here and letting me be a part of your day. And if you guys really like this episode, I would love if you could leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Maybe leave a comment, some words of wisdom surrounding friendships to anyone else that is listening on Spotify. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.